Welcome, fight fans, to the Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast.
Your Fight Talk Authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard Ortiz.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast.
Fresno, California, we're live here in Mad Productions Studios. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast, with my co-host with the most, the UFC veteran himself, the Apache Kid, Mr. Cole Escovedo. How we doing, Cole?
What's up, amigo? How's the knee?
The knee's doing good, man, and we're moving right along. It's getting stronger. I just came from the doctor today, and he said we're making leaps and bounds.
Oh, nice.
And
I mean, you're not literally making leaps and bounds, right? Because that would be counterproductive.
No, well, we can't do that, man.
All right. Well, you never know, bro. You're aggressive about shit.
No, but he did say, Richard, let me remind you, you're in the middle of a marathon.
Yeah, exact. Good for the therapist, because that's exactly what it is. You got to remind him every just remember,
exactly.
Progress is good, healing is good, but don't take it for more than what it is. It's just progress.
Yeah. It is too.
Good plan.
And actually, I'll be receiving a call next week about a date for my right knee. So
okay.
We're going to be knocking them out, man. Because I got to get my legs great. Because you know what? One thing I do notice about the sweet science and also MMA, I don't even look at their upper body. I look at their legs first to see if they have balance and see if they got coordination and actually got what it takes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, man, our guest has the most phenomenal footwork, I would say, in the sport of boxing at 130 pounds. And I don't know, I'm going to get a lot of heat from this, get a lot of emails and stuff. No, honestly, because when I first met him, all I saw was his lower torso, his legs, man, and they were just, kind of like Roy Jones.
Kind of built like the Empire State Building, wide and then...
No, just his balance, his base and everything, man. I mean, you can go a
got
long
a
way.
base, man, to deliver power.
But I'm going to say this before I introduce him, and he's probably going to, frown at me too. If he was not boxing, he would be one hell of a center fielder in baseball.
Okay.
Bro, the dude's an athlete.
Carries the same athletic...
He is a freaking athlete, man.
Yeah?
He's one of those that, he would lay out for a ball, look like a gazelle.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
You know what I mean?
Take that dive, that long dive.
Exactly.
That's highlight reel
and
shit,
come up
man.
throwing, man. Come up throwing with that right hand.
Right? Just rocket it all the way back to home plate.
All day long, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce our guest today. I had the privilege and honor of interviewing him when he was like maybe 4 fights in, before he turned professional, and a long list of victories along the way. And without further ado, and I'm glad to have him straight off, big news that just came his way. Great news that he just made Team Flores even stronger than before. Ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Boxing's first, youngest ever to sign, undefeated, Gabriel Flores Jr. Welcome to the show, Gabriel.
What up, man? What's up?
Hey, your pops texted me earlier, and how was the swimming earlier? You had some swimming today?
Yeah, just a little bit of chilling in the water.
That's always good, man. That's relaxing. Gabriel, in Vegas now, from Stockton to Las Vegas, man. How's the transition for you?
It's a big change, man. It's a big change. Everything's different out here. Everything.
Since I'm on that topic, I'm going to go right off the top, man. This question is coming in from Noah Valero, okay? He said, moving from Stockton to Las Vegas, what's been the toughest... No, he said, the most difficult transition for you?
My family, I got no family out here. No one. I don't really know anyone like that out here. It's crazy. Most of the time, I just be kicking it with my manager. I be kicking like Jay Prince and Antonio Leonard. That's pretty much it.
Not bad company to keep in Vegas.
Oh, no, not at all. But speaking of that, Gabriel, isn't it crazy that more people know you than you know them in Las Vegas?
Yeah, it is a little crazy.
Well, let's talk about that relationship, with you and your manager, Jay Prince. Talk to us about it, man. You guys work good together. You guys got a lot in common. And I heard you guys got a little debt to settle as far as that ping pong tournament, man. I'm looking at you, man. You got a future in that. Those fast hands, my man.
Yeah, man. It's cool. It's a vibe, Me, Antonio Leonard, Jay Prince, we could just be right there at the house chilling and talking, and we just having a good time just talking. When I'm around them, I'm soaking up all the game. I'm just listening. I'm just tuned in. And they're real people, man. They're as real as it gets. So it's great to be around them.
Hey, it's wonderful to be around him too, man, especially when you're in good company, man. Can you imagine Cole Escovedo being surrounded by millionaires, but they're so down to earth? They're real people, just like Gabriel said.
Yeah, they the dollars in your bank doesn't change who you are and how you got there. If some dude grinded his way to being a multimillionaire, he's not going to be any different. If the guy was given an inheritance and received it when someone died and was a millionaire, he's not going to act any different than he was before, which was probably a certain way. So some guys are just honest with you. You know, they'll just 100% every time, even if it's a bad thing. Like if at some point they're like, hey, maybe we should do this or maybe we shouldn't do that. Like at that point, you've built a rapport of trust. You're like, okay.
Exactly. And Gabriel, you said you're just absorbing everything. I mean, the man has grinded from the bottom up, very successful businessman, and he became that way by making awesome choices, the correct choices, learned from his mistakes, as if to say. So when he made the choice to say, hey, I am going to manage Team Flores, the young Gabriel Flores Jr., which to him is literally money in the bank. He sees a future for you. He sees exactly what your dad has installed in you and what your two hands can do and deliver at the end of the day. How does that make you feel knowing that this man is in your corner?
It's an honor to have him in my corner. I mean, so much power. I only had so much more power behind me. And Jason's, like I said, Jason's smart, man. You know, they're real, like, whatever they say or they think of, I just listen and I take it all in. Because all that information is into nothing but help me.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Gabriel. You know, I said it since day one. You're an easy person to get along with. You're an easy person to like. And you just got that trustworthy face, man. But don't let the face fool you, man. Kind of like the baby face assassin, because at the end of the day, you kick a lot of ass.
Yes, sir.
Co, at this age, man, and do all the pieces, the fine pieces, are just falling into place, and that's a lot has to do with his father, Gabriel Flores Sr., who's making sure that every T is crossed, every I is dotted. And when you look at the young career, the potential career, where it can go, what are your thoughts on this?
We've covered that, like I think a couple times when when his dad's been on, when Senior's been on, and it's just. They've got a plan that, like I said, and this is just try true. It's not necessarily anything with them, but his father has a formula and he's got a vision for him and where he wants to go. It's not where he wants his son to go or anything like that. It's I'm going to build as many fucking doors of opportunity as I can based on the efforts and energy and commitment my son is putting into something. If it were fucking water polo, if it were baseball, if it were physics, whatever Junior here pursued and said, this is what I want to do, just by doing it, his dad would probably have like Nobel Peace Prize, grants getting lined up, Harvard interviews for his freshman year, scholarship. Like he would literally pull every string he could to go, I'm going to make sure that you go as far as you can fucking go, and I'm going to make sure that nothing stops you. And that's what he's doing here. It's just that it's boxing. Yeah. And his son is doing all he has to do. Dad's doing everything he can to make sure he has as many paths ahead of him and as many paths past those doors as he can physically create for him based on everything he's doing, which is long-term.
Gabriel, when you hear that, and you hear it from the outside, because you're living it inside, when you hear that, how does that make you feel knowing that's pretty much 99% accurate? Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I mean, like I always say, I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in. I mean, me and Pa was grinding and done a lot to be where we're at, and we're only going higher and further in life. But to already be here at this age, I'm blessed.
Now you really are, and you're very stronger and tougher than people can even think of. We all know your story, and we know what drives you, and we know what motivates you, and we know that your feet are still on the ground. A little bling here and there hasn't changed Gabriel Flores Jr. He's still the same person, same person I've always been, introduced myself to. What's your long-time goal, Gabriel, as you win? I know it's in boxing, I know it's the belts. I'm talking about the personal, your long-time goal being Gabriel Flores Jr.
I want to be pound for pound the best to ever lace up a pair of gloves. When you say a long-term goal, Gabriel Flores Jr., all Gabriel Flores Jr. has been is a boxer, you know, a young kid from Stockton, California. Like, boxing has been my life all day ever since I started it. That's just been my life thing, and it's just been boxing. So, I mean, I don't think people really understand how much I put into boxing. That's why I won't ever lose, just because how much I invested in and how much I went through. Just, I can't give this all up. Like, I can't. It's just too much behind me.
You know, a lot of investment, and I think you're in a great position right now. Nancy Rodriguez from Supreme Boxing, she wanted me to ask you, how does it feel to know that you cracked the top 40 in the WBC?
Feels good, you know. Also tells me that my hard work is paying off. But, you know, we're at where we're supposed to be right now, and we're going higher. You know, my last performance was pretty decent. Wish I could have done a lot more, but that second round, my back was shot. So after the second round, the first minute of the second round, even before I got the knockdown, like, whatever I move, whenever I punch, whenever I did any type of movement, I felt it in my back. So I was going through severe pain the whole entire fight. But you know, with it all being said and done, we're at where we're supposed to be.
Gabriel, done a little bit more. You knocked down a man with an iron chin that has never tasted the canvas in his life. I mean, he never even tasted the canvas when he was sweeping at one point or any time. I mean, that power is there, and yet you put on a Picasso. When I say that, a painting, a dominant performance, man. I mean, hey, if you want to spoil us, the fans, and make it a quick night, we'll take that. But just watching you perform in there, we know it's something special.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Cole, you've watched some rounds of him, and you've heard all the hype, and I use the term hype, and don't take it out of context, of everything that his father has said. To your knowledge, is it everything that he has said, more, less, needs to be adjusted, or right on the mark?
I think it's probably more on the mark. I think if I'd said it was less, it would almost seem like his dad was like sandbagging his full potential to people and potential sponsors and backers and investors and things like that as far as business branding goes. So I think it's pretty much on the mark, because we also know Senior's not going to bullshit anyone either and say something that's not. That's just my experience with Dad. It's never been that way. So yeah, we'll never see him over-exaggerate it, and we're definitely not going to see him sell him short either, because if he sells them short, it looks like they're sandbagging and looking for easy fights and stuff. He's like, why do that? This is the perfect fucking line. So I think it's right on what he says.
Right on the mark, man. Hey, when I ask these questions, I already know the answer, Gabriel, so I just got to, keep
throw them out there.
Yeah, throw them out there. Now, Gabriel, let me throw this at you right now, and I'll let you put together this scenario, and I'm sure your dad knows exactly what's going on. You got this, we'll say this football team. You got the running back. You got the offensive line. You got the wide receivers. You got the tight end. Your defense is on hit. But all of a sudden, you get a Hall of Fame quarterback in addition to your team, mentoring, coaching, fellowshipping, because that's the word he likes to use, because he is a man of God, a man of faith. And I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, that is now also in your corner, Mr. Andre Ward. How does that make you feel, knowing that he could have picked anybody that he wanted to, but he picked young Gabriel Flores Jr.?
It makes me feel good. You know, I got a strong team behind me that's going to look after me, and that's going to make sure I make the right moves and I get the right fights and I have the right game plans.
Hey, and also, man, it's okay to kick it with somebody that's signed with Jordan, too, man, rocking those Jordans, man. I can't wait to see you lace up maybe some Jordan gear out there in that ring, Gabriel.
We'll see as time goes by.
Yeah, because I know you got your own flash to that, too, man, and that's something I want to talk to you about. We talked about it briefly. Talk to us about that conversation that you and Pops have right between fights, man, on what to wear, what color, who are we going to tribute to. We all know who it's dedicated to. How does that conversation take place?
Most of the time, Pops just tries to figure it out and tweak it himself. You know, he'll tell me a color or this or that, ask me what I think, and we'll talk about it. But most of the time, all of the ideas come from him, me be on it, and he figures it out with our person that does the trunks and the tops, Sophie. So he does a pretty good job at that.
No, and not only that, Cole, when you hear that, That's the trust that he has in his father. Is it to say, hey, man, he continues to get it right. I'm going to let him continue to get it right.
Yeah, and that's where I've always said you've got to trust your coach for you to have a good career, a successful career. You have to. This, when it comes to, we've run into a couple athletes where their father is, doubles as their head coach, and you got to really trust him at that point, because you got to trust not only that they'll do what's best for you in your career and your interest in your training, but that they'll also not look at you as like a son and make sure that any fight decisions they make are based on that 100%. Like, you may lose this fight, you may not. I think if we do this, you'll win, though. Versus, I don't know, he might lose that fight. Let's rather fight that guy. So you got to really trust that they won't do that, and that's where the success comes from. You see that when you have those relationships, because they don't just kind of go. When it works, they go really far. Like we saw, what was that cat's name? Was getting ready for the Olympics. Him and his dad chose to go to the Olympics versus going pro because they wanted to try the Olympics before. Oh, yeah. And he went and got, like, what, gold or silver or something like that. So when you trust them, they go. Like, when it works, it goes. You just have to really, really trust
Richard
them.
Torres.
Yeah. You got to trust that dad is going to be biased and as open-minded as possible,
Exactly. Well, that trust has started from day one. Gabriel, do you remember the last time that you really had to dig down, and not in the boxing ring, just in life, making a tough adult decision? Because you've been making adult decisions, my man, since I would say the age of 15, since you signed Top Rank Boxing. And you said it best when you were at a press conference. You said, I'm a youngster, but I knock out full-grown men.
Yeah. I mean, when I moved here to Vegas, I really had to dig down, and a few times even after that. My life is a constant battle, finding obstacles all the time. My life is a little different than a lot of people's, but man, that happens. I feel like a little too often, sometimes. But we get through it and we focus on the next day, and I just prepare myself for the gym and for my fights. That's what I live for, to be successful and feed my family.
Amen to that, brother. You're between fights right now. I mean, Top Rank, man, they kept everybody busy. They served a lot of opportunities to these young fighters out there. Without looking back so much and taking a backward steps, when you see some of your peers or some of the guys that you fought in the amateurs, and you see some of the decisions that they've made, whether good or bad, or taking some losses, has it affected you emotionally? I mean, because you are another human being. Has as if to say, man, I am truly blessed to be here, or wow, I would have never done that, or I'm going to learn from his mistake, so I don't do that.
Yeah, something like that, but it don't affect me emotionally at all. It's just interesting to me. That's it. But affect me emotionally, not at all. I wish everybody the best, but at the end of the day, I look out for myself and I focus on me and my team. But for sure, if I see somebody do a move and I'm like, oh, that wasn't a good move, I for sure will make the same move that they did.
Gabriel, I'm going to ask you a tough question. This question's coming in from Joe Valero. Coming up in the amateurs, I mean, a lot of times you fought these guys at win, lose, or draw. Have your relationship, has it changed since then? Or is there people still with grudges? Is there still people, your friends today, knowing that you may share the ring with them someday?
I think everybody in the amateurs that I fought were pretty cool, but I know that there's some people out there with a little bit of envy and probably would like to take a swing. But I have no problem with that. But that I know they're pretty cool.
Who did you look up to as coming up, man? I mean, because I don't want to ask you who you're looking up to now. I mean, there may be some fighters that influence you, but they're, I mean, you can say they do, but at the end of the day, you may share the ring with them. Coming up and growing up, who did Pops and you watch?
I like watching Roy. I like watching Roy a lot. Roy Jones, I studied him a lot. Like,
that makes
crazy
sense.
how he fought. Like, he was so comfortable in the ring every time he stepped in the ring,
Yeah,
so,
it just looked like he'd already won the fight.
Just watching him doing his thing in the ring just amazed me because he just looked so comfortable and like he was just controlling the guy.
I'm gonna come back and talk about Andre Ward because this other question's coming in. How long did you know Andre Ward before the decision was made, and how was your relationship then as compared to what it is now? Of course, now it's stronger, but how was it then if you didn't know him before?
I didn't really know Dre. I think I talked to my fighter meetings, you know, for the ESPN and all that, but as far as just me and him having a conversation, and I didn't really never have one like that. This was like kind of my first time really talking to Dre one-on-one. And he's cool, man. He seems like a very cool stand-up guy. He comes from my part of the Gulf Cali, Northern Cali. So that's cool. And I was telling him, like, I can't remember who was the last person I was on top from Northern Cali that really ran it besides him, you know. So it's cool that he gonna have my back and have my support, and he's gonna support me. So I could be the next one from Northern Cali on top and running it.
Did he ever disclose exactly what he saw in you to get his attention?
I don't know. He just said he really liked me and my team and how I was fighting. He said if he wasn't interested, he wouldn't even been there to even like watch me train and all that. Because when he landed, he watched me train and gave me a little tip. So he just let me know that he was really interested, but didn't really break it down in detail why.
How does it feel, man? Just to know that your team is one call away from being complete, and I say the completion of winning that first world title. How does that make you feel, Gabriel?
Makes me feel good. You know, we're on the right track. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and no matter what, we're gonna go grab that. No problem.
Cole, I know you got something in that question bag, my man, for this youngster right now, and also some advice to give too. You know, UFC veteran, been in and out of the cage, successful, fought for many titles, and what have you, man. Shoot away, my man.
We were talking about like your recovery, you're on your knee earlier, and what it is, and that this is the goal of longevity and. I want to be remembered in the sport. It starts with being, you know, the youngest ever signed and, you know, being the youngest undefeated and everything. That's where it starts. That's where you grow attention and the eyebrows start raising because now it's like, whoa, what's this kid doing over here? You know what I mean? Like he's just coming out of nowhere. So, but then when you start wondering about your legacy and stuff, you got to remember it's a marathon. And they're taking their time right now. They're not making aggressive moves that don't need to be. Yeah. Right now they're building their team. They're strengthening the base. They're getting everything done. So advice would be hard. They're literally doing way next level stuff as far as building their management team, who's around them and stuff. You know, I had a manager, but I wasn't surrounded by like high level guys like this, and yeah, exactly, Hall of Famer guys in the sport and stuff. So, but I was going to ask you is, if you, let's say boxing didn't exist, let's say just because we were talking about this earlier, you know, you throw them out in center field or whatever. If you weren't boxing, what do you think you'd see yourself doing? I know that's kind of a generic question, but you're so young that you got to take boxing out of the equation. I was kind of curious what else caught your attention in life? Where else do you think you'd be going right now?
I never had a plan B, you know. I was a kindergarten talking about I was going to be a boxer.
Oh, okay. Well, then that question definitely does not apply to him.
I was going to be a firefighter.
Then that sounds like.
I never had those crazy dreams. I just wanted to be a fighter. I just wanted to be a boxer.
Yeah.
So if that boxing didn't work out for me, who knows where I'd be at? Probably in an ugly place. But
that makes sense.
I'm here. That's why I'm so thankful and so like blessed. And I tell you all the time how blessed and how grateful I am to be where I'm at, because if it wasn't for boxing, I know I would have been in an ugly place.
That makes sense. Having done it from such a young age, just knowing, like, you know, some kids are on the field and like, oh, I want to be a cop, a firefighter, I want to be a doctor. He's just like, I want to be a boxer. That was just from birth, was just part of his DNA. It's just that's what attracted him. The second he knew about it, the second he knew of his existence, he's like, I want to do that. So it's hard to picture himself doing anything else, and I can understand that because you never knew anything else. It's just what I knew. This is what I did.
That's what he wanted to do. Hey, Gabriel, this question's coming in from Jason Alexander. He says, man, you got so much gear and attire. How long of a layout do you have, man, when you lay out your gear before you say, okay, this is what I'm going to wear tonight, this is what I'm rocking?
Yeah, I do that. Like more fight week. A fight week, that's like I'm going to wear my jumpsuit to the press conference, or I'm going to wear whatever this nice clothes to the press conference, so I'll wear the jumpsuit to the weigh-in. Type stuff. Like, we always got to make sure we're on point.
You know, fight week, man.
Sure I got like matching shoes or something like that. So you look the part, man. Like, when I go up there, I look like the world champion. 9 times out of 10, when I'm out there at the press conference, I look like the main event.
Yeah.
There you go, man. There you go.
Dress for the job you want.
And yeah, exactly. And this question's for me, man. It's one of these questions since we're on that topic, man. How many bottles of cologne do you have, and what do you rock, Gabriel?
I don't even wear cologne.
Oh, really?
I just never even wore like tripped off cologne. Like ever since I was a kid, like those little girls used to, like I was in 5th grade. I just told the story not too long ago. Like somebody asked me why I don't wear no cologne. Like I was 5th grade, like or 4th grade. I was young, and a girl would tell me like I smell good. I ain't even wear cologne like that. And so ever since then, like,
Gabriel.
I kept that in my head. I just put that in my head like I already smell good. I guess I ain't need no cologne.
That's it, man.
So
Damn,
ever since I was a kid, like that stuck with me.
Cool. The man don't need no cologne, man.
You
I mean, he don't.
know-
No. He don't need cologne. I need cologne. I love cologne. I have a lot of cologne. I'm all about hygiene. Gabriel Flores Jr. Not only the first youngest to sign, he doesn't need any cologne, man.
Hey, I mean, when all you smell like a success, I guess is
you
the
go.
easiest way to go with it. But yeah, that's not too shocking when you just, and no one ever tells you, oh, you should try cologne. No one ever really tells you that. You never think you need it. And no one ever tells you you stink or anything. If you don't, they'll tell you. But some people just like, I don't want cologne.
Hey, you look good, you feel good, and now you smell good.
That sounds like a goddamn commercial.
It does.
Hell yeah.
Well, what if somebody wants you to endorse a cologne, Gabriel? What are you going to call it? Gabriel's?
That's a different story we got to get into. We're talking about money, and of course I'm gonna wear some cologne at the end of the game. Wear some cologne.
I heard that.
And then we're talking about something else.
Speaking of making
And,
money,
we really got to get to thinking and making sure we get the right name for it.
that's what I was going to
There
do.
you go.
The brand would have to be right. I was going to ask if there was any brands that I don't even know if he could talk about. He might not be allowed to talk about. But is there any brands that you are going to start working with, or directions you want to go in with, any different brands or specific industries that you want to get into with the scheme you've picked out?
Yeah, I'll wear any clone out there. I mean, as long as the money right. That's all that matters.
Have you been approached by like any companies in general, like Toyo Tires kind of things, or a boxing glove company? Have you been approached by anybody to kind of want to start carrying your brand, like kind of carry Gabriel's image and his reputation on their brand of anything?
Yeah, I ain't really even getting none of that thought, but
Good.
that's something to think
That
of.
makes sense. He's pretty much letting everybody above him worry about that stuff.
Exactly. Hey, his job right now, that it sounds like, is okaying everything and taking care of business for the fights, working out, nutrition.
Yeah, I got a strong team. My team, like, they on it like white on rice. Like, they all the stress off of me. They let me do my thing. They let me be a boxer, be a fighter, be
There
a
you
trainer.
go.
Like, just train. Well, they do that. Now a lot of fighters got that, and I'm grateful for. That's another thing I'm grateful for. Like, I don't stress out about none of that. Like, they take care of it for me. They just make sure I'm ready, I'm focused, and I'm training, and I'm in shape.
So what is there in Vegas that you can do? You're 20. He's 21, right?
I'm 20.
Okay, so man, so there's going to be a little bit limited number
Yeah.
of stuff you can do in Vegas. Like, you can't go to like the gun. I don't know if the gun range. I think it's maybe 18 and over. I think for the gun range out there, there's literally a place called the gun range.
Yeah.
It's like a big fancy one. I was gonna say, man, I gotta start hitting up friends and see like, hey, what's in Vegas? Go golfing, or maybe a big big name drive range out there or something, or go karts maybe or something. I don't know. Like, it's hard when you're not.
Gabriel,
doing
what do you
Vegas.
like to do? What have you found? What have you found to do in Las Vegas for the short time that you've been there?
Shit, eat.
They got food. That's it.
They do,
They
man.
got food. I give you
Yeah.
that, man.
Gabriel,
Don't worry about that. I be eating good. I'm a homebody. I like to kick it. Maybe and I don't really know anybody. Like I said, I don't even know anyone out here. And like,
Yeah.
I'm not a social big
Butterfly or
outgoing
anything.
person like that. So I ain't even met people like that. So like, I'd rather just stay in my little bubble and be cool. And like whatever I do, I'm just right here being Pops. So like, I'm a homebody. I just be kicking it. I just be thinking in my room or something like that. Listen to music or whatever.
Hey, Rich, don't let him fool you. He'll be flying chicks in. It's easy to kick it if you got chicks coming in.
oh, damn. There you go. Pops is letting it fly. Gabriel, you got this image that you're holding up, my man, and Pops is trying to keep it real. And I'm not trying to get personal with you, but hey, that's okay with me. Hey, when I go to visit you, fly in an extra one too, man.
I got you, so look.
When you spend all this time at home, I imagine you got to be
Yeah.
getting your gaming on. You play a lot of Call of Duty at all? Maybe some NBA 2K. What do you got going on?
Man, I suck at those shooting games. Like, I'm horrible. I ain't playing. Like, I bought it just because my brother told me to buy it and play with him. Like, I played with him one time, and I bought it a long time ago.
I haven't touched it since.
I'm not good at that stuff.
You know what it sounds to me like? It sounds like he's a reader. Like, do you like to
Not
read,
even-
Gabriel?
I only read one book in my whole life.
Man, you gotta fix that, man. It sounds like your mind's always working. You gotta like start stuffing knowledge down it, man. Like
My
you just
mind is always working, but shit, I only read one book in my whole life, and I ain't even finished it.
pick up a business book, man. You might surprise
There you go.
yourself. You might pick it up so well that you're like, damn, I didn't think about that.
Exactly. Hey, Gabriel, let me ask you this, man. What's your whole take on Virgil Ortiz? He's going to be entering the ring this Friday. Golden Boy, DAZN, boxing, and now Golden Boy has their opportunity to shine because Top Rank had their opportunity. They tested the waters. It was very successful. What's your whole take on Virgil Ortiz now being the main event for that card?
I ain't really looking into all that, but that's good. He's the main event now. I mean, now it's time for him to shine and for him to do his thing, because that's what hit my head when I turned to the main event. I was like, now it's time for me to shine, really do my thing, and all eyes on me. That's why I came out to all eyes on me, like the Tupac.
Exactly.
That was all eyes on me on main event. So, I mean, I guess the same thing for him. So it's time for him to pick it up and shine and do a good performance.
You know, now Top Rank has also released the fight date for Jose Ramirez, August 29th, Inside the Bubble, MGM Grand. You know, what's your whole take on the skill set of Jose, you know, at 140?
Jose's an amazing fighter. Amazing. He's great. He's strong. He's powerful. He's determined. He's determined. I mean, he could put that word in all cap for him. So,
Yeah.
he's really go out there and he goes after it. He does his thing. So, for sure, like, great fighter. He's in 140. That's his division all the way. Like, him. So all you gotta do is go and take it.
No, I agree with you, man. They're very well said. And has he given you any advice at all? Is there anything that he might have rubbed off on you, whether it's inside the ring or outside the ring? I mean, because you get to rub shoulders with these guys, man, these world champions.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. Jose, give me advice in and out the ring. You know, I've talked to him plenty of times. So Jose, you know, he really like look out for me and tell me like give me advice and all that. So. Like I said, Jose, my guy, he's cool and all. He's a very cool guy.
Yeah, very, very cool guy, man. Very soft-spoken, man. I was actually talking to his brother earlier because he asked who was going to be on the show, and I told him Gabriel Flores Jr. He said, "Oh, great choice, man." He goes, "Tell my." Well, actually, you know what? Luis Ramirez wanted me to say, "Hey, he wishes you well with your new team, man, and he knows you're going to be a world champion someday."
Yeah. Like even his, like you said, his brother, his people. That's great people right there. Like, I'm cool with his brother, too. Like,
yeah, Luis.
You know, I always talk to him and said everything, say what's up. Like, his whole fam, man, like, I got love for him. They're cool people.
You know, without like poking at it or anything, Gabe, and I know it's tough for you to make that transition because this question just came in. What's the toughest thing you had to leave behind in Stockton? What do you miss the most? And what was your favorite restaurant in Stockton?
It's the hardest thing. My family, you know, I got my brother, I got my sister right there, I got a lot of family right there, you know, so that was tough, big tough. I mean, my sister, it was even like showing it that it was going to be hard, so that was tough. My favorite restaurant, I rock with Masaki's. I like Masaki's. It's like a sushi restaurant.
Have you ever went to a restaurant with your dad and he just wanted to introduce you to this plate, man? He said, "Gabe, you got to try it, man." And it was just like, "Nah, man, this isn't happening for me. Maybe you, Pops, but not me."
Pops don't even be putting me on to restaurants like that. That was when I was like young. Like these past years, I put him on to restaurants. Like I'll be like, "Oh, let's go over here." Like,
okay,
this is fire right here. Like lately, Pops ain't put me on the restaurants. I'm the one Pops is like, "Nah, that's ain't for me." Pops will tell me like, I don't want none of that. Like, I'll eat raw salmon. That's just good to me.
Yeah, sashimi.
But
Yeah.
Pops don't like that.
Shoot, that'd be a great endorsement, man, if they hit him up.
Right? Get yourself a sushi sponsor, man. There you go. Get all the sushi you want, whenever you want.
Hey, Rich, there's only one thing I like raw, and it ain't salmon.
Wow. I'm glad we're on the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass podcast.
It's a
And
to-go
we got that
meal.
little warning box right there too, man.
A little mature eyes.
Yeah, we do. We
Hey,
do.
So, Gabriel, what have you noticed has been the biggest difference between training in Stockton or training down in LA where your camps have been spread out versus now training out of Las Vegas? Have you noticed like an environmental difference? Are you used to this training inside so you don't really notice it? Have you done road work? What's the biggest difference you've noticed?
Yeah, my training camps were always in Stockton. It's the first time that I placed it anywhere else. But Vegas, it's just the conditioning, man. The altitude, like, it's crazy running up the mountains, Mount Charleston and stuff like that. Like, it's real work out here. Like, I was so, like, after those 10 rounds, I wasn't even breathing hard, not at all. Like, I
you
swear,
look fresh.
like, I wasn't tired one bit. Like,
That
man,
explains
like,
the
I was
elevation
crazy
difference.
shit.
Hey, Gabriel, what was it like being in that bubble? You know, during those, what is it, the 2 days before? What was it? I know, big transition for you because you're an outgoing person, man.
Yeah, like, it was nothing. Like, it didn't bother me one bit. I don't care if I fight in the bubble again 5 more times. Like, it is what it is. It don't affect me. As long as there's a head and body in front of me that for me to bang on, then I'm good. That's all I need.
Yeah, now the questions are getting tougher. This question's from Bill Coddington, man. He's just throwing it out there. He said, when are we going to see young Gabriel in? I know the answers to these, but I'm going to ask these questions. When are we going to see young Gabriel in with the Ryan Garcias, the Tank Davisons, the Lomachenkos, and these prime fighters? Is that ever going to happen soon?
Yeah, it'll happen within a couple of years. Like, I'm ready to touch the title within a year. So, you know what I mean? Time is ticking. It's going to come. Time will tell, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna be at the top. Like a lot of people, they could guess it, they could say they know everything, but time will tell. That's what I love saying. At the end of the day, they all just gonna be like, wow, like, you know, they're gonna eat with their words. It is what's gonna be. So I can't wait.
Gabriel, how do you keep it together, man? Because I've never seen you lose it on an interview. I've never seen you make a statement. I mean, you stand your ground when confronted. When I say confronted with a question, but I've never ever seen you downgrade somebody, and not in the public. Not. You've always been a class act. I've never heard you say, well, you know, later that dude, he can go do this or go do that. What keeps you grounded, man? How do you continue to be the perfect person behind the microphone, man?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few times like some reporters or whatever interview me, like they'll say the wrong things, or they'll try to push my button or do something, but I never really, sometimes my backup question in my head that I answer that I want to say, like I don't say it, like it's just I don't know, it's just like I always try to be cool and like not do that. That's why one thing I get from my mom's, like my mom's vocabulary was like so good, and like how she spoke and everything, like she spoke real well and like real mannered, and that's one thing she was big on me about. Wherever we go, how I talk to other people, like all of that, like make sure I talk to them correctly, because she ain't like nothing else. So that's one thing that stuck with me. Like that's one thing I'm really glad like mom's taught me. Like that's what made me deal with the sponsorships, what made me deal with a lot of people. Like sure, and how she gained me up like that. Like, so that's one thing for sure. That's why I get it from my mom's, how I don't go off on them or say anything or really like arrogant or like really like that, let that Stockton come out of me like that. So like that's why I'm more cool, because mom's taught me how to be like that. Like she embedded that in me since a young kid. Like my pops always talked to me like a grown man. So and then my mom's kind of did the same thing. Like she expected a lot from me. So that's what helped a lot.
Very well said, Gabriel. Now, you share with us what you got from moms, man. What would you say you have right from your dad? There has to be something. I mean, you guys are just on the mark about this. You just have it straight from your pops.
Yeah, a lot from him. Like how I act, how I walk, sometimes how I talk, like how I wear my clothes. Like,
okay.
You know, I'm around this man like all the time. Like I live with him. So like a lot, like you don't even notice how much you really get from somebody, like how much they rub off on you. You already notice, like people already had to sometimes bring that to your attention. Like people even tell me, like when I was young, like nobody would tell me I look like my dad. As time goes by, everybody is starting to tell me how I look like my dad. Like so many people, And I don't even think it's the fact that I really look like him. I think it's just how we're like in chemistry, like how I act like him and all that. That makes them think like, puts it all together, like I look like him, you know?
Yeah, that's very, very understandable, man. Do you remember, without putting pressure on you, Gabriel? Do you remember what you said you wouldn't get your pops once the dollar bill started coming in? Do you remember that on an old interview? It all stuck in my head personally.
Shit, I don't know. He wants all kinds of damn things. We're just gonna mark off the list as we go on.
I bet there's a chat. I was gonna say, what's Dad driving right now, man? I bet that was high on the list.
I was driving a GS350 Lexus F Sport.
Oh,
nice.
Life is nice.
It is. Well, Gabriel, I mean, you did say, I said, hey, man, so what's the first thing you're going to get Pops, man? And I remember we were down at the radio station, and you said, I'm going to get Pops a Rollie. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah. Hell yeah, I do.
Does Dad have a Rollie?
Not yet. We best believe we're going to have one.
Well, you know, Vegas is the perfect spot.
Yeah,
I'll hit up some peeps. I'll try to find you a jeweler in Vegas, man.
If you look at us, you know, jewelry ain't a thing. Like, that's for sure we're going to have it. Make sure we shine and look good. So that's not even something I'm worried about. Like, what I'm worried about is with the big purchases. Like, that's going to be nothing. That's like something I can get them right now, but damn, I want to and spend that money. But,
makes sense.
I'm worried about.
Hey, Rich, we want the Lambo. We want the new Lambo.
Oh, wow, man. You don't want nothing on your wrist. You want the new Lambo?
No, next time I'm on your show, you're talking about helicopter and shit.
Yeah, you know, I was going to get Dad a Lambo, but, you know, for like another $50K, I could get him a helicopter.
Chopper. Yeah. He don't want to be waiting and getting road rage.
We're going to get it.
Pops will be like, don't fly us in. We'll fly ourselves.
This is fairy tales. This is what's going to happen.
No,
we always have a plan. We always executed it.
Rich, we're gonna pull up to the fighter's voice and the chopper like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, dude, yes, like Leo, do it.
Oh yeah. Hey, Gabriel, but you got to do that dance too, man.
The dance.
Yeah, when he was getting down, because he did that dance too when he was at a gathering, and I know your dad still got some pop lock in him, man.
I thought you were talking about when he landed the chopper. I was like, that was the Dizzle dance. I knew it was on right there.
There you go, man. But I do want to talk about this. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Las Vegas, the odds. Someone laid down what was it? $140,000 on you to win, and just won 14,000. That was the win.
They bet 187,000 plus.
Damn.
Like a little over 187,000. They only won 4,000.
Oh, bro, you're just too fucking good. That's rough. That's what happens when you're the favorite. You got to bet a lot because it's just
that's crazy money just
Vegas
to say,
is losing
okay,
money.
I'm going to throw it out there.
Yeah, Vegas be losing money on that.
That tells someone that, hey, I got 110% trust in this kid.
That was a lot. That's a lot of money. Like, I've had friends bet on me before, like when I fought in Vegas, they're bet. They're like, dude, if you fight in the state where they allow it, we're going to bet on you just because. Why not? So I can understand that, but damn, that's a lot.
That is a lot of money. Gabriel, did you get that information before your fight or after the fight?
Before.
Oh shit!
Damn.
God damn! I couldn't walk out knowing I'm gonna cost somebody over $150,000.
You know, Rich, from a lot of people, pressure ain't doing nothing but make me better. Like that don't get to me.
You've always said that.
Do you know who?
187,000 on me. Let everybody watch me, over 400,000 viewers, all that. I'm gonna do my thing no matter what. Like, if anything, that's gonna make me do better. Like, I don't shy away from none of that. You know that, Rich?
Yeah, I do. I mean, hey, you've never shied away from anything, Gabriel. Never since I met you.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know who made that bet?
Yeah, some guy. He Instagram.
Gotcha.
Send me his ticket and all that.
Wow, that is some insane. That's insane level gambler's confidence.
Almost like that has to be like in the Guinness books of Vegas, bro.
He'll tell me, I'm gonna do this bet again. Like, he bet on Michaela. He bet on a few other people that he'll tell me he's about to do it. All right.
So, yeah, whatever gets your vote, whatever floats your boat, I guess, man. But that's a lot of fucking money, goddamn.
To have millions and just say, okay, I'm gonna play my own modern real life Monopoly, man.
Yeah, but it's a bummer that Dude, you would think dropping 150K,
Yeah.
you'd make more than like 14 grand. That's
Well, I mean,
rough.
the odds, Gabriel.
Yeah,
was the
that's what I'm
A-side
saying. Is
coming
that's
in.
rough, man. You
Yeah.
could bet a lot. So you would have had to. He would have had to bet like 1.4 million. He would have won 140,000.
Yeah, shit. Can you imagine? I mean, nah, you can't be doing that. Gabriel, what's your most favorite part leading up to the fight? I mean, I would say myself, but I don't want to answer this for you. What's the funnest part leading up to the fight for you?
Press conference.
Weigh-ins.
Okay. I noticed you.
You get to see him.
I could really feel him.
Yeah, you get to see him. You get to get close. You could tell if a dude's scared when you get close to him like that, man. You could see what
Like,
he's
I
about.
look through all those like guys in their eyes. Most of 9 out of 10 times, they're shook. They're scared. They're nervous. They're hurt. Like they could play the part and look at me back in my eyes and all that. But there's only one guy I could really said like he was down. Like not even one guy. There's a few, but one recently that was really down. Like he wasn't even worried about none of that. He wasn't bothered by nothing. It was the guy that I fought in Reno on the Oscar Valdez undercard, Arsenio.
You know what, Gabriel? You would never think, and I was thinking of one kid. You would never think it would be this kid because that was one of your highlight reels for Top Rank. The kid from Stockton, the kid that you fought in Stockton, he wasn't backing down on that stare down either.
He thought he was hard.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I always say he thought he was.
that left hook, man.
Good night.
And that's still on the highlight reel, man, for Top Rank Boxing.
It really does.
It is. I mean, it's one of the highlight reels. You see that knockout, just, man. I mean, that just came right through from your feet all the way to your hands. Did you feel anything, Gabriel, or did you just hear the crowd?
Shit, when I knocked him out, I didn't even know that I hit him. Like my hand went through his damn skull. Like that. It was crazy. Like when I hit his ass, I didn't even feel it land like that. Like.
What did Pop say when you came back?
Shit, we didn't really talk about it like that. We didn't really even talk about it like that. We just after the next time we talked about it was in the locker room. We're just talking about what I could have done better. And worry about the knockout. Like
No.
that's kind of supposed to happen. Like that's what I'm supposed to do to these guys. Like,
How do we improve now?
we don't really go crazy about that stuff when we knock somebody out. We just keep on and we talk about what we could have done better.
Yeah, what did we won, but what did we do wrong? Like every fight can be better, and that's a good approach to have. Yeah.
No, I've heard those conversations. I was backstage one time right after a fight in Fresno, California, and you can hear it, and you can see young Gabriel receiving it. Instead of saying, "Hey, well, I was trying," or "I can't do," he didn't make any excuses. He said, "You're right," and he agreed to everything.
Because it's fresh. The fighter can literally go back and look at it and go, okay, I can picture that in my head. Okay, he did move left. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, so it's fresh. That's the, but I've seen so many guys backstage too, like dude will get caught in an armbar or a triangle, and then I see their coaches like going over the defense to it back then. I look at them and go, dude, what's the point now?
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck you telling them how to defend it now? Like this was, you should have been doing that weeks ago. So it should just win or loss. It should just be like a debriefing. What could we have done better?
Exactly.
Even if you win, debriefing. What could we have done better?
Exactly. There's one guy in your camp, Gabriel, that I want to give props to, man, and I'm talking about your personal photographer, man, Julio, man. I mean, he does great work, man. I love the one that he has with you in your red robe and your red shorts, and I mean, you feel real comfortable with him, man, and his work is just second to none, man. How did you hook up with that dude, man?
Well, Julio's family.
There you are.
Like he's family. Like that's my guy. Like he about to come over this weekend. Like and stay at the house. Like that's family right there. Like without a doubt. But Lukey hooked us up with him. And we talked. He took some pictures, and I mean, we discovered he's the best photographer out there. So I mean, that was a big plus, and he's super cool, and Pops and him get along real well, and I get along real well, and like I said, he's family. He's like an uncle to me.
There you are, man. I remember Stockton, California, before I went up to your gym, and this was at your gym, and he was doing something, bro. I don't know what he was doing. He was lighting your hands on fire or something. Some kind of fire to get that picture. Do you remember that?
My hands on fire, and I lost all my arm hairs.
I bet that was an interesting smell.
Hey, it was one hell of a shot.
It was bad. Hell yeah. He knows what he's doing.
No.
My arm on fire, man.
It's It's always something different. He'd be like, Junior, I'm gonna light you on fire today. I'm like, damn, all right.
Damn, you
All right,
crazy.
I'm gonna get some water. You're gonna hit this balloon, and this water's gonna splash all over you. I'm like, damn, all right. So,
Very creative.
But at the end of the day, we get the money shot.
So what are you going to do when the day comes? He's like, all right, dude, I got this pit bull. When I say go, Gabriel, I need you to run at that fence as fast as you can, and he's going to be right behind you.
Whatever it is, I'm down. Whatever he tells me to do, I'm doing. I'm down. Like,
Damn, that's crazy. I like this photographer.
So I know he got some type of angle when it comes to something like that.
Yeah. It's artistic. It gives him a chance to really express
when he said,
what he sees.
when he said he was going to light me on fire, I had so many questions. Like, going in my head, but I didn't even ask one of those questions. I was just like, all right, come on.
So he was just putting your arm out?
All these questions are going to get answered right now. So,
Yeah.
Damn, that's one way to answer those questions.
Can you imagine if you would have had a beard or something? Ooh.
If I had a beard?
Goodbye.
No, if you would have had a beard or something. I mean, you said it
You
burned
would've
your
had
hairs
a
on your
beard.
arms. Yeah, had a
I
beard.
know.
Wow. No, that's some good stuff, man. But like you said, he got the money shot.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we get the money shot every time.
There you are. Hey, Gabriel, you know what? I can talk to you all day long. But I want to give you some breathing room, man, because I always want it brand new. That when I asked you to come on the show, not like, oh man, this show again. So I'm going to give you your space, man. But I want you to have the mic right now. What do you have to say to all the fans, friends, followers, supporters, haters, wannabes, whoever it is, man? Because at the end of the day, they're going to be a Gabriel Flores fan.
I'm just blessed to be here, man. I'm going to make the most of every opportunity, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for a long time, and as time goes by, there's going to be more haters and more people that envy me more and more. But to everybody out there that saw my last fight, it had a lot of doubts, had a lot of questions, a lot of the commentators from other networks and all that. Like I say over and over, time will tell. At the end of the day, they're gonna eat their words and they're gonna see that I did it all. Like I'm just waiting for that day. I can't really say that much right now because I ain't do nothing yet. But when that day comes, it's gonna come and they're gonna feel it.
There you go. You got anything for him, Cole?
Dude, like I said, him and his dad are literally writing the book on what you need to do, and it's not just to sound repetitive, but it's hard to give advice to somebody that's already doing everything they literally should be doing. Him and Dad have it locked down. Gabriel knows what he needs to do, which is train, fight, recover. That's it. That's all he needs to worry about. And Dad's got the rest. Yeah. Andre's got the rest. Jacob's got the rest. Like they all have it now. He doesn't need to worry about it. That's what they're there for. Like it's literally when you tell people
trust too.
You need a crew so you can just not
less
worry
pressure.
about it. Exactly. He's doing everything you're supposed to do. As a fighter is just supposed to worry about those three things.
I know your pops is listening, and you've raised the bar, Gabriel, and we're gonna raise the bar at the Fighter's Voice, man. One of these days, we're gonna get the freaking exclusive. It's gonna be you, your pops, Andre Ward, Jay Prince. We're all gonna sit down on a table, man, and we're gonna discuss the future of Gabriel Flores, and we're gonna record it.
You forgot you gotta mention the whole team.
You got Julio.
Exclusive. It's gonna be me, Pops, Andre Ward, Jay Prince, and Antonio Leonard. That's the team right there.
Antonio Leonard, you got it, man. We'll make sure. I'm looking at that picture right now. KP, go ahead and leave that on for a second right now. That is one hell of a team, man.
I was just about to say, man, that looks like a fucking like a magazine cover for like Empire magazine or something.
Yeah, is that the picture with us right there in the house with Mama?
Yeah, that mafioso looking Don Juan fucking table. Yeah, that looks fucking titties.
The table shot.
Yeah, that's a nice table.
See, that's Julio's picture right there. That's his work right there. Look at the gloss off the table.
Yep.
Look at Pops. He's looking through you. He's not looking at you. He's looking through you. And look at every other manager. The only one really smiling is Andre, because he prays a lot. No, he really does. He walks it, and he don't just talk it.
Walks around.
But look at Gabriel Flores. He has that look like, okay, I'm putting my trust into all these guys. I'm going to take care of what I'm taking care of. That's why he's in the middle. But look at Pops, man. He's freaking looking through you. He's looking at your soul.
Pops is always, like we said, he's always looking forward. He looks at what needs to be done now, but he looks at forward so he knows what needs to be done now. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah, it does make sense. Well, hey, we'll mention the whole team, man, but we're going to get that exclusive one day, Gabriel. If we got to go to Las Vegas, we're going to make it happen, man. Only on the Fighter's Voice, Knockout Podcast.
It'll happen, man. It'll happen.
We'll have your dad fly us out in his helicopter.
Yeah, in his helicopter. All right, Gabriel, I'm going to let you go, man. We're going to discuss some UFC, man, and talk about this weekend fights coming up, man. And you're welcome to join us if you'd like, but I'm gonna.
I got a question.
Okay.
What happened in the Masvidal fight? I heard the guy he fought was boring.
Well, it wasn't really boring, but I picked Masvidal to win it in the first 2 rounds if he forced like a brawl, like a street fight. But the longer the fight went, the more it was going to play out into Usman's favor because Usman can go 100% for all 5 rounds. We saw it against his last title fight. So the longer the fight went, the more it was in Usman's favor just because you got to beat the champ. So it wasn't necessarily boring. I think he just came out with a game plan of, I'm not going to play to your strengths. It'd be similar to a guy coming out and saying, look, I know Gabriel's got an arm that goes across the ring. I'm going to try to dip that jab every chance I get, and I don't want to get close enough for him to jab me. His game plan would be tailored around not giving you your advantage, not playing into your strengths. And I think that's what Usman did, which sometimes can be portrayed as boring because it's not, knockouts and submissions, but at the same time, his job is to win. That's what fans got to remember sometimes too. His job is to win, and at one point, if you decide this is how we win.
I like Masvidal. That's why I asked that.
I like Masvidal too, man. That's why I was kind of hurting when I saw that.
Hey, Gabriel, it's super necessary, my man.
Super necessary.
Yeah, I hear it. I understand that.
Yes,
But
sir.
all right, Rich, I appreciate you having me on the show.
Appreciate you being a part of the show, man. And you forgot to say one thing. We're not just a show. We're also family to you too, Gabriel. So remember that, my man.
Hell yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Oh, hang on. Hey, Gabe, before you go, I got a sushi place for you to call. It's called Raw Sushi and Yama Sushi. It's over on Spring Mountain Road, Chinatown, Las Vegas. Try that one out. That got recommended from my poker playing buddy in Vegas.
Raw Sushi?
Yeah, Raw Sushi and Yama Sushi. It's over on Spring Mountain Road, Chinatown, Las Vegas. That's my boy recommended it. Chad, good looking out, man.
All right, for sure. I'm going to taste that for sure.
Yep.
All right, I'll wrap to you later, my man. Thank you, Gabriel. I liked it. He didn't just want to leave. He said, I got a question.
I like that. Yeah, well, because from his perspective, he probably wants to get an understanding of, I know how boxing fights and why they go that direction. I'm curious why this one went that direction. Just kind of give him a little quick, understanding of what it is when it comes to MMA. And like a lot of people have been asking me that lately, like, what about the Holloway fight and this and that? And I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be a stereotypical Antonio. The hood's going to fucking hate this, dude. Antoine, don't get mad, dude. But I've always been a proprietor of non-title fight. Yeah, Holloway would have won. Masvidal, maybe might have had it. You get your usual robberies. People are like, oh, they were robbed. This, that. Yeah. Generally, non-title fight, I can see that sometimes. And sometimes robberies still happen, though. But when it comes to title fights, man, it's just fucking sports squirrely, dude. It's weird. If you're in a title fight and you let it go to the judges, you better be the first one that does like a press conference release to go, hey, all my fans.
It's my fault.
It's my fault. I didn't finish him. I couldn't get it done. It is what it is.
5 rounds to finish him.
Yeah, I had 5 rounds to do my job and finish him, or just beat the shit out of him for 5 fucking rounds, enough to where everyone goes, fuck, unanimous decision and new. Yeah. And that doesn't really happen. We didn't see that in the Holloway match. He didn't just beat his ass for 5 rounds. Now, granted, Volkanovski or whatever didn't really just beat the shit out of him either, but he got takedowns uncontested a couple times. Holloway just didn't, in my mind, again, non-title. Sure.
I like the way Holloway reacted after the fight. The way he took it as a true professional.
He's a champion.
Yeah. And he knows what he should have done, and he knows, hey, I jacked up by letting the judges decide my outcome.
Exactly. And that's anybody that's on that top tier level knows that sometimes you're going to run into guys that you just can't finish each other. Well, you better change your game plan at some point because now you got to try to win the fight. Like, you got to get points now. Like, a coach will notice that and go, dude, okay, he can't finish you, but we ain't gonna finish him. Yeah. Hit a couple takedowns. I want to see 2 takedowns this round. Bang them up a little. Don't get dropped. Stay away from. Let's win this round. We need to at least get 1 solid round in mid-fight if you have to. So it becomes a strategy at some point. Do you want to knock the guy out? Do you want to accept the fact that, hey, everybody goes for the fucking W? Yeah. But at some point, a good fighter and a good coach will know, okay, we're not going to knock this guy out. Like if I was Usman and Covington's coaches in that fight, I would have been telling both those motherfuckers, you're not going to knock him out. No. Stop getting into trades with him. Yeah. Use what's good. Granted, at that point, you're going to tell them both wrestling. And then you're going to see a wrestling match. But at the same time, a good fighter will try to out-wrestle him and use the wrestling to open up the strike
Both
game.
men came to fight that fight. There was
Well,
no
they did,
quitting
and
none of
that's
them.
how we. That's why I said
you got the result.
The longer it goes
Yeah.
in the Masvidal fight, the more in Usman's favor it would be, because we've already seen that he can go balls to the fucking walls
Yeah.
for 5 rounds. It doesn't matter if it's round 4 or round
I thought
5.
he still put a good account of himself. Cutting the weight in 20 pounds in 6 days, his stamina was still there. I mean, he was still a threat. He went out swinging for the fence. I didn't say go out. He didn't get the W or the knockout, but he was still trying to hurt the man.
No, yeah, and I think this was just the perfect storm for Masvidal.
Yeah.
He's on the right momentum. It was the right time.
Showed some respect. Afterwards.
Losing to Usman on 6 fucking days' notice,
Yeah.
it's not going to hurt his reputation. It's not going to hurt his career. His next fight, everyone's going to be wanting to watch and see who he knocks the fuck out of next in 5 seconds. So I don't think it hurt his brand. It didn't hurt his stock. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more time for him to have prepared for Usman. Not so much to prepare for Usman, to prepare for how to counter Usman. How do we get Usman to bite? How do we get him to play into our strengths?
I'm just glad that this stupid, stinking virus didn't play a role, that both men were cleared, and we got to see 2 men compete, because this virus is something else, man. It's changing lives. It's making impacts, and we got to continue to move forward as a whole, as a human being. I don't care what color you are, man. The virus don't give a damn what color you are. So I'm tired about stand-ups, kneel down. Just be humans and just love one another. I don't know where that came from, but it needed to come out. Let's talk about this weekend's fight, man. I'm really interested in Gustman moving up to heavyweight.
Yeah.
All he did was just skip a meal, man.
I don't know.
You don't think he's going to fit right in? I mean, because he has the height. He just needs to fill out.
Okay. Here's the thing.
I know you probably think he shouldn't be fighting anymore as well.
No, I'll never say I don't think a fighter should be fighting. It's not my place to say whether or not a fighter should or shouldn't be fighting. My gripe is, if you're going to say you're retiring, stay the fuck retired.
Okay, yeah, he did
Don't
say
do this back and forth.
Like
shit.
Henry?
Not necessarily anyone specific, but it's like, I look at people that multiple, and this goes all the way to and Cejudo hasn't done it. This is the first time Henry's ever, and Henry strikes me as the kind of guy that, like, he'll go make his money elsewhere, or he's happy with what he had to be.
Yeah.
He done. And the only way I see him coming out of retirement is if, like, I could see him going to be like, Henry, why don't you come back? Be like, the only way I'll do it is if, like, Dana White himself asked me, and then we'll see, like, some video maybe where he's like, oh, hey, I'd love for you to come back. We've got this fight.
We
We'd
miss
love
you.
Whatever, which never fucking happens. I think they did it for, like, GSP maybe. But anyway, it's retiring, going back, retiring, going back. To me, that's the same thing as Griff System's gonna fuck me up for this. It's the same thing as when you hear that girl and guy couple where they're on again, off again, on again, off again. It's like, make up your fucking mind.
Yes, exactly.
So when you retire and go back, it's like, if you retire,
Like
get
when she calls the
spotlight.
cops on him and say, no, but don't arrest him.
Yeah, but don't arrest him. But just tell him don't do that. Whatever. But it's the same time. It's like, if you want to retire and you want to be done, be done. Yeah. Cool. If you want to come out of it, then at least make a statement of, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that. That was emotional. It's don't just take a fight. It's like, and then you move up. I think it's like, I don't know if it was Nogueira or Shogun, but it was like one of the last contracts, and I could see him moving up to fight him. But it's like, why come out of retirement and go up a weight class? I'm trying to figure out what the goal is. It's like, if it's the back-ended goal of, they think DC's going to retire anyway after his trilogy fight, so it won't matter who wins the belt. If DC wins it, great. He's retiring anyway. We got a vacant spot. We got Gustafsson waiting in the wings for it.
So you don't think he's going to have a different style or make a run at heavyweight?
Well, I think he is on board with whatever scenario game plan the UFC is trying to lay out right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to wrap my head around getting what would bring Gustafsson out of retirement other than a guaranteed, not a guaranteed, but the promise of a title shot. Yeah. Come us do us this favor. Come take this fight. Beat him, which he's fighting Nogueira, right? He's fighting Rodrigo Nogueira, right?
Yeah.
No, Nogueira's fighting Shogun.
No, yeah,
he's fighting
for a
Shogun.
rematch.
Yeah, they're doing that. Gustafsson's fighting. Crap, he was even saying how he broke his nose in training, and they were trying to laugh it off. I want to say it was one of the Nogueiras. It's not Shogun. Shogun's fighting, and by the way, fucking Nogueira's fighting at 44. By the way. That's fucking insane.
That's crazy.
For those who don't know, dude, Nogueira's been around the block, but he's 44 years old. Yeah. And he's fighting Shogun Hun. I think it's one of their last fights in their contract. One of those last fights. I think it's like Nogueira's fight. But to come back to heavyweight, I can only see him doing that if there was a hint of a title fight. Hey, come back, do us this solid, fight this fight at heavyweight, win. Because like I said, if DC wins the belt in the trilogy with Stipe, he's probably retiring anyway.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
they get a vacant spot.
That's
and then
the plan.
if Mikiuk wins it, great. Then they've got a good heavyweight they can promote and brand that they can have Gustafsson fight. And it'll be a solid fight. Everyone will get behind it because it'll make sense. But I'm saying is that's the only thing I can see them doing.
I'm just surprised he's fighting again. I'm as surprised as you are.
I mean, I'm surprised, but I'm not like upset about it. Like it's not really
Verdum is who he's fighting.
That's who it is. And that's what you're saying he broke his nose.
That's not an easy fight, man.
No, it's not an easy fight at all. But at the same time, it's a lot of these guys are on the tail end of their careers and their contracts with the UFC anyway. So they're trying to maximize potential. Because let's be honest, does anybody really think Verdum's going to go on a title run right now? No. Probably not. I don't know.
No.
Probably not, though.
No.
So this isn't to give Verdum steam to go after the title. There's more marketability in their eyes in Gustafsson because he's got longer shelf life. He's younger. His brand has still got potentially peak eligibility.
Yeah.
So they feel there's more money to be made in the long run.
Do you think him coming out of retirement, a lot had to do with, if I do, I'm retiring because I'm not going to be cutting weight anymore. So
Maybe.
him coming out and saying, okay, I want to fight again. Hey, I don't got to cut the weight. I'm going to move up to heavyweight.
I don't think he really had that hard of a problem cutting weight. Those are all big boys anyway, so it's probably not an easy cakewalk. But they've got nutritionists and things like that, so I don't think it really ever hurt him because he went balls to the wall.
How do you think he's going to do? How do you think he's going to do this weekend?
Oh, I think he'll do fine. I think he'll do fine.
You think?
I think he probably. I think Gustafsson's next fight takes a finish win, probably first, early second round.
So who do you got in the Shogun fight? A trilogy, actually.
Yeah, the Hugan Nogueira.
Yeah, Nogueira.
I'd take Shogun on that one. I think
Really?
44 is a little old to be fighting, and he's not.
Roundhouse?
Oh, like a head kick?
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be like a knee. Because I think Nogueira either get clipped or he'll use his because he's got the boxing.
Yeah.
I think he's got better boxing. I think he'll use the boxing to close the distance, avoid the leg
That's
kicks.
a tough dude. You got to remember Frank Mir. I mean, just freaking popped his arm, and
yeah.
you can see the bone leaving.
Yeah, they're a tough motherfucker.
Leaving its area.
44 is
Went tap.
44.
Yeah.
And you're not the Yoel Romero that is the specimen of that age group. So to be fighting 44, let alone be fighting a dude that can knock your fucking block off on any day of the week, regardless of who you are. I think he'll use his boxing to get in close, try to keep the distance, try to outbox Shogun, maybe try to bring him down and use the advantage of his.
So you're
his
picking
jiu-jitsu's
Shogun.
better.
Knockout?
I'm picking Shogun, but like I said, the way I see Nogueira winning would be that, and then when that doesn't work is when I think he'll get knocked out. I think if he'll try to close the distance, and it might not be a good setup to close the distance. It might be like a lazy jab or two, maybe a double up lazy jab, and that's it, or like a overhand right that he tries to step in behind. I just don't think unless he cleanly gets in, like boxes his way in, I think Nogueira's just got too much reach and length, and he'll just stand, boom, drop it. That's what I see happening, and if not, just blast you with a leg kick, you reach for it, you take it to the fucking neck, good night. So,
take us home with this breakdown on the main event.
The Whitaker-Till?
Yeah. I don't know too much about Till.
So, Till's really tall guy. I think the last bad fight we saw Till have, I think was the loss to Masvidal. I think it was like the last bad one I think he took. I think it was a knockout loss. Whitaker, I think, is on a steam
Who actually tagged Masvidal early in the round?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that was one of the points where people said it tested him a little, and we got to really see what Masvidal's chin was. And that's when, so like I said, that is the fight that got everyone's attention.
Okay.
Then he starts the fuck out of Askren, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was game bread time. And then the Diaz fight just kept that up in the air, and that's what kept him up there long enough to get either the Usman fight or something of higher caliber.
And you know what? That had a lot to do, and we'll stay back on topic. We had a lot to do with Diaz calling him out that night. That set the recipe.
That
it
didn't
set
hurt
the whole thing.
either of them. That helped tremendously.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw somebody down the line that shot a screenshot of something saying, "Hey, why don't you take a pop at Masvidal right now? We'd love to maybe see how that goes out. Maybe there's a potential, big fight right there. Why not? What's the worst that happens for Nick by doing that? A, he gets called out back for the fight and makes money, or B, he gets to have a fight. Like it's a win-win there for both those guys. So
great business.
But yeah, I could see Till's on his way trying to probably make the changes that I just got caught kind of thing. Like I got caught. That fucking happens. It doesn't make any.
UFC's a different animal, man. Completely than boxing. You never know where it's coming from. That ending is coming. We don't know where it's coming from.
And that's the thing is when boxing, the same thing. They'll tell you, I didn't see it. I got caught. But he's also got 1, 2 weapons.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
He can only throw so many punches.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about getting. And this is nothing against boxers. Don't fucking get me wrong. Don't anybody try to twist and say, oh, so he says boxers. Like, no, just don't try to twist it. Just is making an objective observation, and that's fucking it. Don't flag me. It's that you've got to worry about hands, and that's it.
Yeah.
So the awareness and the cognitiveness of it will change how you approach each fight, because you're going to change it depending on what they're capable of doing to you, which is elbows, knees, and stuff. So that's where you're getting things like tail, Masvidal. They just change it on you.
Yeah, just different art form, man. So who do you got winning this main event?
Till. I take Till.
You
on this
really?
one.
You do?
Yeah, I got Till. I
Are
think
you
Whitaker's
serious?
dangerous. Yeah, Whitaker's dangerous, but I think this is going to be the spot
Shocked
where
about
either
that one.
Till is able to show us that he's moving forward still and
Yeah.
he's still dangerous, or this will be another L.
I think it's a great matchup. I really do.
Oh, no,
I
it's a really good match, because this is the kind of matchup where you see who wants to
They're
be
both
on
well-rounded.
pay-per-view kind of thing. Yeah. This is a fight that if it were on the headline for the fight night, that's great. I'm going to watch it. If it were on the pay-per-view, I'd throw on like a main card.
Yeah.
It'd be like maybe third below the main.
Yeah.
You know, like co-main. Maybe not co-main because it's not really an eliminator fight, but I would put this like third and treat it like an elimination fight and be like the winner of that gets like maybe a title shot. But the problem is that's only one W for Till right there. He would need like two to really, in that organization, because it's so dangerous, you know?
No, that's clear cut. One thing I will say, Zoila Frosto, the last time she fought was for Combate MMA. Her post today said, I want to fight. I need a fight. I want to punch somebody in the face.
And my boy Sergio was doing that too, looking for fights. So I mean, you've got Shannon Knapp over there at Invicta. That's who I would be reaching out to. I'd be reaching out to Ed Suarez over at Legacy Fighting Alliance. I'd be reaching out to them. I'd be reaching out to Fromowitz.
Yeah,
I know he's
August
not the
28th,
matchmaker, but I'd
Miami.
be reaching out to him and saying, hey, can you put me in touch with your undercard guy or somebody I can talk to about it?
Yeah.
And then they'll evaluate your potential there and where they put you on the card. But
Yeah.
those are the guys right now that I know are throwing shows. LFA is doing shows. Combate is doing shows. I mean, USC is obviously doing shows. But I would be calling like, call the athletic commission in the state of fucking Florida. California just got the green light for Ami and Pro, you know, with guidelines.
Yeah.
And then look at like Nevada, Arizona, Florida, the states that are like doing fights. Talk to their athletic commission. Find out who's licensed promoters with them right now. Who says who's got on dockets. Find out. Say, hey, because it's public knowledge.
I'm looking forward to the return of Big Al Gonzalez, who's
Yeah.
been posting, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight.
Saw that.
You know, hey, give me a fight date. Let's make it happen.
And that's really all he's waiting on right now is a fight date. That's really all he's waiting on. Before it was just a matter of making the recovery time and stuff. But fucking C19, man.
It
fucked
is.
a lot of shit up. It
is.
is what
Hey,
it is.
KP, real quick, we got a great connection here. Somebody just inboxed me saying that, you know, unless it's their phone. We're good to go, right? We're not cutting out. Yeah, dear, it's your phone. So we'll change the subject real quick, and we're going to recap and leave tonight. Your thoughts on Gabriel Flores Jr.? I like the fact that he was able to speak on himself. Whenever Pops came in, he was just being animated. He didn't talk for Junior.
Yeah. No, and that's true. And I can imagine they have a dynamic of a relationship where Dad would never try to do that ever.
No.
You know what I mean? And and it also strikes me the dynamic that if he did, it's so out of the norm that if he did, Junior would just be like, if Dad said it, Dad said it. It's for a reason.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
exactly. I've seen that look before.
that trust, that dynamic of trust. So he just sounds like a normal 20-year-old man. I like really just laid back. Sounds bored as fuck. To be honest, sounds really bored. But right now
he was
there's
actually
nothing to do.
swimming, and you know how swimming makes you tired?
Yeah.
And his dad said, hey, Gabe, get your ass out of here, man. We got a show to do.
Okay, that makes sense. I was saying, because I mean, being locked on lockdown, even
Yeah.
in Nevada right now, just not even being 21 in a place like Nevada, it's there's not really much to do. That's why I was like, man, where's the sushi places? Where's like the golf course he can go to? Maybe, you know, get him something moving, something different or something.
Yeah.
But I can understand the moving is probably weighing on him too. The moving, you don't have your friends at disposal, you don't have family, things like that. You get homesick, but. At the same time, he sounds like he understands.
Well, you can hear it in his voice whenever he mentioned family. I mean, he
you can hear
became a different person,
homesick feeling.
especially talking about Mama. That love is stronger today than it's ever been before.
Yeah, and just I mean, strong family bonds make it hard to pursue colleges, careers, especially when you know it's going to make you have to leave. That some people just have strong family ties. That sounds like one of them. So I don't know. Maybe instead of a Lambo or a helicopter, man, maybe I'll just have to buy another house in Vegas.
There it is.
Put the
there,
family
man.
up in. I don't know. Like everyone will be moving to stuff.
That may be it. I love the fact that he's allowing the pieces to be moved himself. I love the fact that he has everything in place, and I'm excited to see his next fight with Andre Ward being a piece of it.
Yeah, being part
One
of
of the
that
questions
puzzle
I
now.
wanted to ask was how much of a voice does he have? But I didn't want to get too personal. I'll just sit back, we'll wait, and let it pan out for itself.
And that might be more of a question for Senior too.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
what's
You're
Andre's
absolutely
voice
right.
like? What is his real goal? Because I mean, obviously, it's going to be like a career consultant position.
Sure.
But at the same time, it was something that Andre sought them out about, not vice versa. They didn't go to him, so it would be easier to label what his position.
Hey,
would really
it'll be easier to take advice from a man that's been there, done that, and retired with that O.
Of
Yeah.
course, because
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
you know, it'd be like wanting to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Who you can take advice from? A guy that's never won a ring?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a
Multiple
dude that's
rings.
won like 5.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know,
Exactly.
regardless of people's personal opinions about him or not, still a good quarterback's a good quarterback.
Exactly. Cole, next Tuesday, man, I got to have you in here Tuesday. We got to try to do something here. Robert Garcia's son is going to be here, Pita, who a lot of people don't know. I mean, you know, he helps out with Garcia's, Robert Garcia's boxing academy. Great trainer as well. I mean, talking about chip off the old block. But a lot of people don't know his MMA IQ, who was a big fan of MMA. So he's going to be on Tuesday. He's been calling in Tuesday.
Jeff Level?
Yeah, no, he's doing, yeah. I mean, he knows his MMA,
Nice.
you know, a boxing trainer, and he'll be on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we have Roberto Diaz, Golden Boy matchmaker. He'll be our guest next Wednesday. Next Tuesday, we're waiting on a decision to be made, but the Wednesday after that, we have trainer Miguel Robles, former trainer of Andy Ruiz. So we got some big names coming up.
It's a little backstory on what led up to Andy's, you know, points, what changes he thought.
And you know what? Now is the time that he'll feel more comfortable talking about it. Because back then he was just getting that question asked at him all the time.
Yeah, and he probably got tired, but now it's a little time for him to reflect on it and have more detailed answers.
Exactly. And without giving up too much, sometime in September, I just want to say this. In September, it will be super necessary. So I'll let you do the math.
like
I'll let
that.
you put the pieces together. Eframowitz, thank you, my man. Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Hey, Rich Ortiz, your host, Escovedo. It's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.